In this section, we will have a look at how to create a project. To create a project, we enter the project settings page. Click on Create Project, give the project a name, select the project type. In this case, we will do a simple annotation project and save it. After this, we can upload documents. So we are going to upload a plain text document that I have prepared and import it into the project. This document has a little story about people that like each other or don't like each other. In order to annotate that, we will create new annotation layers. So first we will create an annotation layer for persons. This is a span layer, and we'll save that. And the persons can have different attributes. For example, they can have a name, and a gender. For gender, we want to restrict choice at this time to male and female. So we create a new text set for gender, save it, and create a tag male and female. Alright, let's go back to the layer and assign this text set to the person gender. That's it. Next, we want to annotate the relation between persons, how they like each other. So we create another layer, which we say call relationship. Yeah, sounds good. And this will be a relation layer that attaches to persons. Save that. And we create a new feature again to say how the people like each other. Could just call that how. And we also create a text set for that layer. And we'll say that they love each other or that they hate each other. Alright. And we assign that to the how feature and save. So now we have created a project set up, which is actually not annotating anything linguistic, but rather relationship between people. Let's go to the annotation screen and have a brief look at how this looks. There is my nice project, sample romance. So we have a story about John and Mary and Fred, and some of them like each other and some not. So let's first identify the persons. So John is a person, and he is male, and his name is John. And Mary is a person, and she's female, and her name is Mary. And there's Fred, who's also male, and his name is Fred. Maybe his name is Frederick, we'll just call him Fred for now. So, that day John came to visit us and proposed to Mary with a diamond ring. Obviously, those people like each other or not. So we would say they love each other. When Fred heard of this later in the pub, he was heartbroken. So he probably loved Mary as well. He never looked again at John, so he probably doesn't like John. He hates him. So now we're finished with our little annotation task with freely definable layers in WebAnno.
Okay, one of the greatest benefits of WebAnno is actually its capabilities of monitoring the progress and of seeing what annotators are doing. And we have created another component which is called the monitoring component, which helps you in seeing what's going on. So If you open the monitoring component, you see a lot of projects and their progress, and I'm opening a fairly complex project now, which also takes a while to open. So this is a project about German named entity recognition, and we had about 7 annotators and curated documents. And what I'm going to show you is the configuration of this project. So first we see all the documents, how many annotators finished how many documents. We see how many annotators have progressed and how many documents they still have to do. We see the documents here, and there are documents that are having this little lock here, and there are documents that have this green checkbox here, and we also have this new sign here. So what that means is basically we can assign documents to different annotators. So if we want to, for example, assign this document Orlando DE only to annotators Anno1 and Anno2, but not to the others, we can click on these little new signs here and it would update and place locks here. And in this way, this document will not be visible to those annotators. They don't even see it. Other interactions we can do here is to undo the done sign. So whenever people click on done in their annotation, this sign changes to the green check mark. But if that was done by accident, we can change it back here to a little play sign, which means that this document can still be annotated by annotator 3 in this case. And this also holds for the curation document, and these actions can only be done by the project administrator. What we can also see here is agreement. So we have inbuilt capability of computing kappa agreement between annotations. Now this project was a named entity project, so I click on the named entity layer, and we see that users agree with each other perfectly. So in the diagonal we see 1.0, which is not a surprise. And in these fields we see filled out based on the documents that annotators both annotated how high the kappa agreement is. In this case, we range from 0.55 to 0.71. And this is the summary of the monitoring page. For automation projects, we can also see the current state of the training, but this is covered in our automation tutorial.